So we've all heard the cliche that skating is mostly mental, and the thing is, it's actually true. But no one in the skate world's talking about why it's true, or what you can actually do to take control of your mental power. So in this clip taken from the skate performance workshop I did, I'm going to be going over exactly that, how your mindset affects literally everything, especially skating, and what you can do to unleash your mental power to skate better and get what you want.
So the definition of mindset is the accumulation of your attitudes and your beliefs. Your attitudes and your beliefs influence everything you think and feel, how you perceive the world, but most importantly, your behavior and what you do. So two important types of mindset we're going to go over today are fixed mindset and growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is the belief that your skills and abilities can't be developed, that you're born with whatever skills you have and you can't really do much to improve them. Someone with a fixed mindset might think that people who are good at skating were just born with their ability to skate and that they could never reach their level or get much better than they are right now. They might believe that they'll never be able to do certain tricks or that they're just too old to improve. They ultimately believe that they don't really have much control over their life and their abilities. Whereas on the other hand, a growth mindset is the belief that you can get better at anything as long as you put in the effort. Someone with a growth mindset, they might think they're not where they want to be yet, but with enough practice, they can get there. They might think, or they might accept, they don't have good nollie flips now, but with enough practice, they can learn them, they can figure them out. They ultimately believe that they have control over their life and their abilities. So it's important to mention though that it's not like you have either a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. Like most people have a combination of the two, and they can change based on many different things, like the people you're with or the environment. For example, maybe you believe you can get better at one trick but not another one. Maybe as you get older, you start to believe like you won't ever learn a trick you've been trying for years. Maybe when you're around certain people, you know, maybe your mindset changes because you care about how people perceive you, like the classic, when people rock up to the park and they're just like, I can't skate today, bruh, like I haven't skated in 2 weeks, I'm really not feeling it, and they just go for like the hardest trick that they could possibly try. They've never done in their entire life with like no warm-up, and they're like, oh yeah, bruh, it's just not working today, you know? These are things that like you might not say or think or do if you were skating alone, right? And fixed mindsets can be sneaky as well. For example, with me, like on the surface level, I always believed that I could get better at skating, but I didn't fully believe that like all of the effort and practice that I was putting in was like actually helping, you know? It was like, I believe I could get there, but like what I was doing didn't seem to work or count or help. And to be honest, like a lot of the times it actually didn't, which we're gonna get to later, like why that was and how you can practice skating much better. Now you might be thinking a fixed mindset is just a more realistic view of the world. Like, mate, I've been trying nollie flips for 10 years and I just can't do them. Well, first off, no, just no, alright? If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this webinar, it's that with consistent action, you can get better at anything. No matter where you're at now or what it is, you can get better. Even the shit that scares you the most or the stuff that you find harder than anything else. And if you're wondering what that brain image is on the slide, I actually don't know. I just thought it made what I would be talking about sound more legit, so I thought I'd put it there. So even though I didn't know what that last image was, I do know that all of this shit is heavily backed up by science. This isn't just some law of attraction shit, okay? This is heavily scientifically backed. So not too long ago, science thought that the brain was unchangeable. That after you hit a certain age, you were basically stuck or fixed with what you've got. But then something called neuroplasticity was discovered. This neuroplasticity showed us that our brain actually continues to rewire and change for your entire life, even when you're old and saggy, mate. Check this video, okay? This is crazy shit. This is a 3D reconstruction of real images taken from a brain that had a microscope shoved into it. So our brain is this huge network of billions of cells called neurons, and this crazy web in the video shows how interconnected they all are, right? So for each habit, action, or trick, you have a mini map of a load of neurons that tell you how to do it. And the more ingrained a habit, action, aka trick is, the more of these neurons and the more they'll be connected to other ones will be. Like the map will be bigger and it'll be more accurate, making that trick just more locked in. So every single trick that you know how to do is basically stored in a little strange bundle of brain goo like you see in that video. And through experience of, you know, trying, failing, getting out there and skating regularly, you can rewire and solidify these maps, adding and connecting more neurons and making them stronger and more detailed and literally changing the actual structure of your brain. So this is potentially going to suck to hear, right? But one irreplaceable aspect of neuroplasticity is failure. You have to fail a lot. Why? Because it's the failure that triggers your brain to realize that it needs to learn and get better. It's the mismatch between what you're doing and what you want to do that actually creates that learning. So when you're learning a trick, every bail is actually teaching your brain how to not do it as you figure out the right way to do it. So in reality, the actual land of the trick is just a tiny part of learning, and a much bigger part is all of those failures. The thing is though, like the fact that there's obviously like a delay between all of the effort and the land can make your progression not seem so obvious, which is one of the reasons why like so many people give up on learning tricks or building new skills and habits, because it often seems like you're making no progress at all, when really like behind the scenes so much shit is accumulating and building that skill to do that thing. It just hasn't fully manifested yet. You haven't reached that tipping point. So in the same way you can build a muscle with consistent effort, you can build your brain with consistent effort too. But if you don't believe that, aka you've got a fixed mindset, you won't allow yourself to open up to the experiences that will lead to that change. If you believe that you can do it, you're going to be right. And if you believe that you can't do it, you're also going to be right. Remember, your beliefs influence what you do, what you think, what you feel and perceive. And research shows that like if you believe you can't get better at something, you likely aren't actually even going to go up against the necessary challenges to get better. I mean, why would you, right? Like in your mind, it doesn't help you get where you want to go, so what's the point? You essentially see it as basically like a waste of time, and you'll respond to failure, resistance and setbacks by just giving up, and ultimately you'll use all of those experiences to confirm your belief that you can't actually get better. Whereas people with a growth mindset, they're going to embrace challenge because they know that it's worth it. You know, the effort and trying is what leads to learning, and they see all the failures and resistance and setbacks as just necessary parts of the journey, and they're going to actively try to learn and apply feedback from other people. So it's mental, right, that you can just change the slightest thing in your mindset and shift your entire perspective of life, right? Okay. This is the crazy bit. With a growth mindset, you essentially open yourself up to the opportunities that were always there. The opportunities to get what you wanted were always there, but you just didn't see them. There are parts of your brain involved in processing what's important and what's not important in your experience and environment. So right now, little experiment time, I want everyone to just look around them, okay? Look on the screen, look around your environment, have a little look, do a little circle. Okay, now look again, but this time I want you to look for the color blue. Look at it. Look at the blue everywhere. There's blue everywhere. You see it? I hope there's some blue in your environment, but definitely blue on the screen. So the thing with this, the blue was always there, but you just didn't give a shit because it wasn't important. You didn't care about the blue. You didn't see it when you looked out at the same environment. Now imagine if you believe that you can't do something or you can't get better, you'll constantly be looking for what supports that belief. You'll miss the color blue. Whereas if you flip it, you'll start noticing things, opportunities, experiences that help you get where you want to go. Things and opportunities and experiences that were always there before. So if you have a fixed mindset and you're faced with a problem, you might see it as this massive obstacle. You'll compare where you're at now with where you want to go and perceive it as this huge uncrossable gap. Like if you want to go pro, how are you going to solve that problem in one? Like you just can't, right? You can't solve that in one foul swoop. So you're probably just going to feel like overwhelmed and quit. But with a growth mindset, you accept you might have a long way to go and that you'll face resistance, but you'll start looking for solutions to get where you want to go and be willing to put in the effort because you believe that it's valuable and it's worth it. So there's loads of research that's showing that like growth mindset is essential for so many areas like grades, sports performance, habit formation. And to be honest, I think if you want to get anywhere in life, and especially if you want to take skating to wherever you want to take it, a growth mindset is an essential skill. So one way you can start developing a growth mindset in your own life is just to pay attention to your week and to how you think about different things and different challenges that you're faced with, skate related or not. Are you looking at those challenges and situations with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Then when you figure out, all right, okay, I'm looking at this with a fixed mindset, you can ask yourself, has anyone got better at this? Have I ever got better at this? And you'll probably find the answer is yes to both of those questions. And now you can look at where you are on a continuum between where you want to go and where you are now. You can identify the blocks between now and there, and you can figure out some tiny little actions that you can do to basically start breaking down those blocks, building those skills necessary to get where you want to go, and just repeat that over and over and over and over again. Move your way up the continuum and get where you want to go.
Alright, so that's it for this video. Make sure you subscribe for the upcoming videos in this series going deep into how to learn faster, how to overcome fear, two things that pretty much every skater wants to know. So we're going to be going over lots of different tips and tricks that you can start applying from the very moment that you finish watching the video. So subscribe for those coming up, and if they've already dropped for whatever reason you're watching this in the future, or you're a cyborg from the year 4312, then I'll be putting the links down in the description below. So there we go, mate. See you later.